going to carry on getting through the Hippogean Gale, what's it called, lantern, because it's been broken by a certain group of people that were... I'm not proud to admit I always cheese this fight just because of the fact that there's 3 of them, they're tough, and one of them has essentially a one-hit kill weapon, because one of them has a cannon, and that's never fun to be hit by. Especially when you're trying to avoid one who's got a tiny nitrous and the other one who's going beast mode with two claws. It's of course the trio of Yahogul hunters, which is never a fun fight, so I always just cheat them instead. Also catch him. A few bloodstone chunks is always nice. Kill her. Or weaken her friends. That's an extra 8 blood vials, is always handy. Right. These guys. So as you can see, there's the broken remains of the lantern. And these 3. There's 2 here, there's 1 down the flight of stairs. Shit, yeah, they're following me. Off we go. It depends if all 3 of them are following or just the 1. Ooh, you're following me still. Okay. That was close. Ow. Lucky that wasn't a visceral. Oh shit, he's gone beast mode. I know this is cheap, but these fellas are just incredibly tough. I know quite a few people who've just given up on the game at these fellas. Right, it's the cannon fella to worry about now. Let's use that. Oh, I've got 2 of them, I didn't realise. There he is. Oh, he's caught on. That was close. Oh, come on, that should have been a stagger, you little shit. That would have been a stagger against the player hunter, what the hell? Well, his friends are dead now, they don't come back, so that's always handy. There he is, hiding off to the right. That should have been a stagger. What the hell? You're not going to chase me? Okay, whatever. Quickly go down to these sections we were in before, because now all the bagmen that were here are now corpses and they've all dropped bloodstone chunks, which is quite handy. Except for this werewolf, the odd weird body part werewolf being here. It's surprisingly tough. Nice awesome bloodstone chunks. Won't use that shortcut yet. There's another way to get to it later on anyway. Yes, weird enough, that fella makes... I don't know what he is, what he's doing, but it wounds them, or at least weakens them so you can get a few hits in. But be careful though, because touching that hurts you as well. And it only works so many times before the aura disappears. else to find, but along this way, because before it was the Tonitrus, which I found earlier on. Yeah, I can't use it here. Oh, there we go. No, I don't want that. There we go. Behold, a pale blue sky. One left to deal with. Yes, these things are spitting blood at me as well. Ouch. Oh, shit. Forgot about him. There's also this fella. this was a shortcut I was mentioning earlier regarding that other shortcut I saw on the elevator. But there's no point using that elevator shortcut when you can just use this bath later on. I guess that puts me now on 13 bloodstone chunks. Always a nice number to be on. Not foolish to try to go for that door when there's him and the others shooting at me. We're not going to fight the boss just yet. We're going to return to the Hunter's Dream and spend these echoes to get ourselves a level up and refill our stock of things like Quicksilver bullets and whatnot. I don't want to go into this fight with over 1,000,000 blood echoes and then him kill me cheaply in 1 or 2 hits like he can do if you're not careful. The one Reborn isn't too difficult, but there are some moments where he will just kill you and it's not necessarily, oh well that was well timed or whatever, it was just nope. He was able to glitch his arms to the walls and smack me kind of situation. I've had it multiple times. Who knows, I might beat him first time, but even still, I'd rather not risk it, especially not with a level up worth of blood echoes in my inventory. Because in the fact that it takes me so long to level up now due to how high level the character is, it's just like, yep, better off spending them.
Good hunter. What is it you just... Very well, let me stand.
And I've wanted vitality.
Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
Next one I'll put into endurance again, just to try to get a little bit more, eke out a little bit more stamina before I hit the max. It's like every 5 level ups of endurance I get an extra point of stamina. How lovely. I love that weapon. So that one's a bow blade. Very handy. Oh, you little shit. That way I can go down the stairs of impunity. I'll see if I can enlist the help of another hunter, but who knows, you never know. No one else is rated fine. How lovely. Charming! Doesn't imagine what the stench must be like. Ooh. Oh, come on. Up you go. Need to kill these lays first before going after him. Because they buff him up. I can't remember or not. I'm not sure if they heal him or not, but I know that they do something to him that isn't handy for us. Oh, that's not helpful. I need her up here to be able to hit her. Now she's going to be a nuisance down there. There we go. Oh, come on! See what I mean by this fella's a bit of a cheap bastard? That attack should have been nowhere near me. He should not have been able to bloody hit, but oh well. I get the feeling one of those bell-ringing cows is my echoes. Oh no, wait, there they are. I think he's vomiting up a big sea of vomit, which is never fun to try avoid. Ow. That big blood spear is annoying because it just hits you. It can hit you for freaking walls as well if you're not careful. Come on! Oh yeah, so you're just turning around and smacking me just happens to land directly on me. Fuck off! Fucking hate this fella because he's a shit boss fight and he likes to be cheap at times. Sometimes he's fucking pushover, sometimes it's just like, no, I'm gonna two-shot you. Fuck off.
Hopefully we'll have to go grab my blood echoes now. Oh no, still by him.
Oh, fuck off! What are you hitting me with? Well, that's over 600,000 blood echoes gone. Thanks a lot, you cheating prick. Oh, this fight is really starting to fucking piss me off because he's being fucking cheap. Also, stop fucking sticking near my blood echoes, you cheating shit. Should have been able to fucking grab them, but no, I'm not allowed to because he's too fucking close. He's doing the corpse rain ability too early. I shouldn't have been able to fucking hit that. Hiss off. This is getting really fucking annoying, this place. I would like to carry along my merry way, but you're just being an absolute dickhead about it. Always hated this part of the Ahagul. It's always been one of the worst parts of the game. And visually, it's not very interesting. It's always had some of the most annoying, obnoxious enemies. Easy to run through him. Inside. Really? Bolt? I've always found fire paper to be more effective against this fella. And thus we leave the waking world, and we head once more back into the nightmare realms. The School of Mensis, heart of the Yahagul Unseen Village. Seriously, someone gave that one a foul, despite the fact that I'm actually pointing towards what's-her-face is hiding. Oh, you silly bugger. No, someone gave that a fine in Bergenworth. It's always fun looking which ones you got. Fire is effective. Research hall. Okay. What's this note say? Sorry, I saw a note there. Oh well. Well, welcome back to the what's it called, the lecture building. However, we are now on the second floor. And these fellas give 17,000 blood echoes apiece, so it's a good farming spot. Sedatives, so then. Oh, hello. From what I understand with this lecture building, it's kind of like a drift in between both the Nightmare Realm and the Mortal Realm. Hence why it kind of like acts as a kind of like a bridge between the two, in that you come here to get to the Nightmare Frontier and to the Nightmare of Mensis. blood. Free third chords. That's a hint as to how to get the secret ending. Oh, another chunk. Lovely. So those fellas have a chance to drop quicksilver bullets, whereas the melee focused ones have a chance of dropping blood vials, if I remember correctly. Let's open this fight off with a bullet. There we go. And here he is. The little fucker that betrayed us.
Oh, this cannot be. You cannot be. No, you didn't. Lord Amygdala? Oh, how did this come to pass?
Yes, I killed his boss, essentially.
Now, wait just a moment. Do you think ill of me? Me?
Not at all.
Indeed, I should think not. I shared with you a thing most secret. Now, you're witness to a miracle, and all the stronger for it. You should appreciate it, if you've a grain of gratitude in you. Yes. Appreciate it.
Yes, Patches the spider, obviously, carries on in the tradition of there being a Patches in a Soulsborne game. Except this time round he's an actual spider.
No matter. Such details are trifling. We're fast friends by now. Let this express what words cannot. Oh, doubt me not, sweet compeer. What is friendship but a chance encounter? Ah, well met. My apologies, but I feel a profound thought occurring on the good grace of a certain god and the way he meted out his love.
Look at that creepy bastard. Yeah, I can feel it. Hear his legs hitting the table. Also, he's now surrounded by eyes, seeing as how he smashed all those jars. I know I don't have to, but I'm going to go kill these enemies just to get a few quick blood echoes. Because if I kill all these fellas, that should be more than enough to get me a level up. And now we funnel them. Oh, there's one that didn't notice us. It's just like, oh, hello. We aren't going to use the downstairs door, we are instead going to go upstairs. And use the door that is up there to enter the final nightmare realm of the game. And thus we enter the Nightmare of Mensis. From what I can understand about this place, the School of Mensis, the fellows who were in Yahagul, managed to somehow create this place, because obviously you can create places within the Nightmare realm, to basically study it, to look at it, look at the effects, see how... oh shit, bell-ringing woman's here as well, this is going to be interesting. But yeah, basically they wanted to study it, see what it was like, what kind of effects it could have, you know, see what they could glean about the old ones as well. I believe that in creating this place they also trapped themselves here as well. Hence all the mummified corpses with cages on their head that we find in Yahagul. Those are the skulls, that's what's left of them. It's all their bodies. And the host of the nightmare, Mikolash, who is the next boss fight we'll be encountering, was the mummy who we touched to get into the nightmare realm. Ah, yes, and the brain of Mensis causes frenzy whenever you step into that light.
Welcome home, good hunter. What is it? Very well. Let the echoes become your strength. Let me... Farewell, good hunter. May you find you.
Level 346. Ye gods. Yeah, unless you kill these things, unless you kill the silver beast with fire, its corpse vomits out these rather annoying worms. Funnily enough, he's not actually doing that much frenzy damage to me. That's weird. There we go. That's what I wanted. Alright, if you visceral attack them though, either visceral attack them or kill them with fire. Oh, hello. Ow, that stings. I'm fine, well thank you for asking. Oh great, two of them. I'm sure if you stick with it, you'll be able to get through it. That's what I did. I mean, the difficulty of the main game pales in comparison to the difficulty of the expansion. Ugh, great, this bit. Not a fan. Oh, it's hard to keep track of this character. This is like my very first Bloodborne character. I must have been on like New Game Plus 7 by now, surely. Must have beaten the game enough times to this fella. let's have a quick look. See, he is level 346. It costs me over 1,200,000 blood echoes to level up at the moment. So, yep, high level. I know, like I say, this is my very first Bloodborne character from back when the game launched. Got 3 others who are nowhere near as leveled as this. I think the second highest is 126. Oh, 199, still a good level. I just kept playing as this character to the point where I think I've hit the hard cap and all the soft cap and all the skills. So I think it was about 4 level ups ago when endurance gave me a single point of stamina. Every other level up it just keeps giving me poison resistance, which is alright I guess, but I'd rather get extra points of stamina. If I level up vitality, I only get a bonus 9 points of hit points, which is barely noticeable. And usually strength and skill increases only give me about 1 or 2 pieces of damage at most per level up. Strength is a good stat to have points in, especially if you're using big weapons. I wouldn't complain with 87 strength. I mean, I've only currently got 68. Although again, I went for a very balanced build of this character where the only points in the 70s, for example, are my vitality and endurance. Everything else is in the 60s, my arcanes is in the 50s. But no, strength is a good one to level up, especially if you're going to go for anything like the Holy Sword or the Moonlight Blade. Level up your arcane alongside your strength, and the Holy Moonlight Sword will be a gore machine with your stat level, with that much strength. Oh, that failed. Okay. What we're going to do with this fella is we're not going to fight him on an even playing field because I don't like this fella. I'm instead going to run up here where he has trouble hitting me. Just do this. As cheap as this is one of the most annoying and creepy enemies in the game. 35 arcane, you pass the soft cap, so you'll have a decent amount of damage with the what's it called, the Holy Moonlight Blade. Or, if you're feeling spicy, you could use the Ligarius Wheel. That's always fun. He normally drops Quicksilver bullets. You cheeky sod. Okay. This fellow's called Edgar the Church Spy. I don't know. I mean, I've seen players who are far better than me. Oh, you're going to spam that today, are you? Alright then. to be cheeky before he re-aggroes. Whew, that's close. That thing hurts like a truck if you get caught in it. Whoa! Forgot he has that. Well, funnily enough, your Dark Souls 3 character is probably a hell of a lot higher than mine, because I'd much prefer Bloodborne to Dark Souls. So, you're probably better than me on that regard. You should have seen me try and play Dark Souls 2 after I played Bloodborne, because this is the first kind of Soulsborne game I ever played, and I went into Dark Souls 2 after Bloodborne thinking, oh yeah, if I can beat Bloodborne, I can beat Dark Souls 2. I haven't even made it to the first boss, because the gameplay in that game is really, really outdated compared to this. Only 300! My word, I wish I was over 100 on my Dark Souls 3 character. I've only completed it the one time. That's a character level to be proud of, 300. This fella is being a nuisance today. I'm not a fan of cheesing hunters with a salmon's bowblade, but this fella is being a rather cheeky devil. Yeah, I'm only 46 levels higher. Yellow backbone. Barely use the stuff now, seeing as I don't go into the chalice dungeon that requires it. Hello, creepy little men. Just when I play the game, I don't know. I don't know. There's no real technique to it. I guess I just. Well, that's the thing. I've had Bloodborne since I think it's 2015 it came out, so I have had a good 2 or so year head start on you. It doesn't even take like years of consistent playing, because like after you've played a game for so long, you kind of put it down for a while and come back to it. And I've done that many a time with Bloodborne. I mean, it's just, I don't know, just chalice dungeons are good for grinding out a few extra levels. And also, I can't fully confirm it. I think that I think the amount of echoes you earn starts scaling with the playthrough that you're currently on. So I wouldn't be surprised if, because what I do is I tend to, rather than, because I know some people will go, right, okay, that I've completed the game, and I'm going to stick around, and I'm not going to kill the final boss, I'm just going to stick around this playthrough and just mess around here. Whereas I'm just like, nope, just get the boss done, go through, and then just keep on leveling up and such. No, they're not too difficult to get a hold of with the Chalice dungeons. Just keep going through the basic ones and you start unlocking better... Well, actually, that's a thought. If you've beaten the boss Ebriatis at any point, you'll have unlocked the final Chalice. Well, not the final Chalice, but the Is Chalice, which is good for grinding out levels. Because the Is Chalice, especially the depthy level, is the final depth of the Fumarian one. Ouch. Ow, ow, ow. If I remember correctly, you get a chalice from Amygdala. You get, I think it's the Loran chalice. I could be wrong. I think it's the Ailing Loran chalice. And then when you find Ebriatis in the cathedral, in the upper cathedral ward, you get the Is chalice. Where is it? There we go. Great Is chalice. This is the one you get for. It might be worth going into the basic chalice dungeons because if I remember correctly, the Hintertombs chalice comes from beating a boss in the lower Fumarian one, and then just you get materials quicker after a while. I think you can also buy them for insight as well. I could be wrong. Let's take a quick look. See. There we go. You can get a few of the materials for insight. I think you can also buy a few as well. Yeah, there you go. You can buy the ritual blood as well, and the tomb mold actually. Yeah. Level 5. Yes, that's it. That's the expensive stuff. Although you do start finding it very commonly once you actually get into the Chalice dungeons. It's a very common drop as level 5 ritual blood. So once you start getting into like the final layer, they'll start dropping all the materials you need to just keep continuously going on. In fact, I have more trouble making lower level Chalice dungeons at this point than I do higher level ones. Let me have a quick look see for my Chalice materials. Like I've got 31 ritual blood 5, and it's just you just get it quickly from doing the Chalices, I guess. The only material that I don't have much of is living string and red jelly. In fact, living string, I don't think I've ever found that like once or twice. It's very rare, that stuff. I can't remember what it's used for though. I think it's for a certain chalice to add on like a fetid offering and whatnot. Right, let's head back to the Nightmare of Menzies. Also, it is worth grinding through chalice dungeons because bosses can give you good gems, they can give you blood, they can give you nice bloodstone chunks and whatnot, and occasionally if you're on the very high level ones you might get a bloodstone rock for beating a boss. I've had it where I've beaten the first boss of a chalice dungeon and I've got a bloodstone rock, which of course there's only 2 of in the game, and that's if you have the expansion. There's 1 in the Nightmare of Menzies where I currently am, and there's 1 in the fishing hamlet in the Old Hunters. Other than that, it's a rare drop. And it is worth doing. There is a you can find like what are called lost and uncanny weapons where, say I've found the, I don't know, say I've got the Blade of Mercy, because I've actually got it now, I can start having it where if I open up certain chests in the Chalice dungeons I could drop a lost or uncanny version which has the exact same stats but has different gem slots which can be, which I can allow you to upgrade a certain weapon in different ways. It is worth doing. You can also get the beast claws from there, which is fun for certain builds. Especially if you have the beast rune on, you can just be like a werewolf man, just flinging yourself towards creatures. It's very fun. Couple that with beast blood pellets and you can make yourself into an absolute glass cannon. Oh yeah, the beast claws are... I don't use them too much myself, but I've seen other people using them and they are really funny. Just like, a lot of the attacks involve... the beast rune. If you've got that, then yeah, couple that with the beast claws, and you can do some serious damage with the beast claws. Hold on, I think I've got an uncanny version of it somewhere. There we go, uncanny beast claw. See, when I transform it, my hand turns into a big beastie clawy thingy. But when you've got the Beast Rune on, it also boosts the damage of this weapon. In fact, the Beast Rune was made specifically to buff this weapon, because in base game, this weapon wasn't really that good. Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head. You could probably find it online, because I can remember, I could swear there's a certain Chalice dungeon, specifically out of the pre-made ones that it's in. But the uncanny version I've got is just a random drop from the chests, but I'm pretty sure it's in... I could be wrong, I think it might be in one of the Loran chalices, just due to the fact there's all the dark beasts and whatnot down there. But it is actually, once you couple that with the Beast Rune, whew, you make yourself into a bit of a glass cannon in some respects, because if I remember correctly with like Beasthood, you do more damage, but you also take more damage at the same time. But yeah, couple that together and they can... Oh yeah, it's only because it's not because I've found that many blood rocks. It's because I've saved up insight and then bought them. Because if you complete the expansion, if I remember correctly, yeah, if you complete the expansion, you can buy one for 60 insight. So that's just what I've been doing. This is one of the things I like to do, try to get my weapons to +10. Trust me, it doesn't necessarily make it like an overpowered weapon. A lot of my weapons' damage is dependent on whether or not I can put good gems into them. Ow. You should look at my firearms. Most of those aren't at +10. In fact, for the longest time on this character, it was only about a week or so ago that I actually finally decided to fully upgrade my Evelyn pistol, which is like the pistol I use the most. You're not wrong. It is rare that I use help. The only boss which I usually get help for is Ludwig from the expansion, and that's it. Like, one of the previous streams I did the other day, I went up against Ludwig and I tried for 2 hours to beat him, and eventually I managed to beat him because someone who was watching the stream decided to take pity on me and help me out. Before then was a lot of me cursing and swearing and losing my temper when I shouldn't be. But other than that, oh, I don't know. But when I first played the game, I actually I couldn't summon, because when I was at university, the internet was absolutely awful. Like, I could connect to it, I could watch YouTube, I could chat in parties and whatnot, but because of how the internet at my university worked, there were certain things that were restricted. Xbox Live was apparently perfectly fine there, but PlayStation Network, it took them ages to get it properly sorted, and even then it didn't properly work fully at uni. So I could never summon anyone, so I guess I had to get used to doing it on my own. Like, you won't believe how proud I was when I beat the Cleric Beast for the first time. Oh yeah, he's one of the old hunters you can summon. Like, with the expansion, you can summon old hunters in certain locations, and before then you could summon him and Alfred before certain bosses. Oh, come here, yeah. Shit. Ow. Ow! Oh, those crossbowmen. Lethal. Absolutely lethal. I think it's one of the few enemies in the game that's actually quite lethal at range. I know the normal rifleman can hurt, but... yeah, you can summon him to start off with, because originally he used to be near the central Yharnam Lantern to summon. But then they decided to change it when the expansion came out. So when you summon him, he's near the that big fountain just after the big mob of enemies in Yharnam with a big flaming werewolf totem, and you can summon him near that fountain with the old hunter's bell. A funny thing as well, it's a little Easter egg, but if you play the music box, if you happen to somehow have the music box in your inventory before, but if it's easier to do it on New Game Plus, but if you play the music box when you've got him summoned as help, he actually chuckles. Because obviously it's his daughter's music box that plays to help him remember who he is when he starts losing himself. He does. It's not like a huge ha 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 or anything. He just kind of just a little small chuckle to himself. I think it only works the once when you summon him. I think you only chuckle once. I never managed to get him to repeatedly do it, but yes, this is a fun little nod. Oh no, nothing like that. Like I say, it's just like a small chuckle. It's not like a maniacal or insane laugh. It's just like a kind of thing. And I got myself killed. I just lost all the echoes I earned. I'm a moron. That was my fault. I wasn't watching where I was standing. That happens a lot. Surprisingly, this little bit here is giving me a little bit of trouble. Yep, I fucked it up. I have recognised my failing and shall make sure to correct it. Well, I had something. I must have had something close to 800,000 on the ones I was carrying before when I died to the crossbowmen. So I lost about nearly 3/4 of a level up's worth of echoes, which I'm not going to lie, stings a bit. How's my weapon doing? Damage-wise. It's fine, it's only lost 12 durability. Yeah, if you get a hold of the church pick from the expansion, upgrade this thing, it's fantastic. It's one of the best thrust weapons in the game. In my opinion, anyway. I do like the church pick a lot. Then again, I like a lot of the church hunter's weapons. Like, I didn't use it much when I first got the expansion, but once I started leveling up Bowblade, I don't know, about 20 minutes worth of grinding gets me a level up sometimes. Depends on what enemies I'm fighting, but the lecture building is absolutely fantastic for grinding out levels. It's because of that big mob of enemies, and at this level, those enemies give me like nearly 14,000 echoes apiece. Fella here's got my echoes. Yep. He's got big glowy eyes. I warn you, the Hunter's Nightmare and the expansion is just... Oh, you're talking about the lecture building. Oh, okay, yeah, it is handy. It is very handy. It's a really good spot for leveling up. Like, I'd say if you're at like my level where it's like, you know, over 1 million echoes to level up, then I'd say about 1 or 2 runs and it should get me the most of what I need for a level up. Like I say, Charles dungeons are good for leveling up as well, especially the depth 5 ones. If you get to depth 5 dungeons, they give a lot of blood echoes per enemy kill. And on top of that, the bosses will give you good gems. Once you start getting level 6 gems, which are all like rarity, at least 12, they all give really good effects. Although, weirdly enough, I get these things... Sometimes when I beat the final boss of a dungeon, I get what are called, like, abyssal gems. And when I get an abyssal gem, it's usually not as good as some of the gems I put in. And the abyssal gems are meant to be, like, the top-tier ones that you can get. But these ones, they never seem to do more damage than the ones I currently have. Yeah, I'm the same with Old Hunters. It is... Mostly because when I complete the game and go through for another playthrough, it's like, oh great, if I want to get into the Old Hunters, I've got to beat Ludwig. And again, he's one of the boss fights that just I don't like. I know lots of people really like him, and it is a cool arena. It's got cool music and whatnot, but just in terms of difficulty, he is severely unbalanced. Oh, did they kill the dog? What the hell? Oh no, it's alive. It depends. It honestly depends on the type of gem you've got. Like, if... Oh, I've been breathing then. Yeah, his second stage is actually the one that annoys me most. I've got his first stage down, pretty much exactly how to do it. Like, I know exactly my strategy for beating him. Second stage, though, he's got a few swings and whatnot, which are ludicrously hard to avoid, and the hitboxes are a bit messed up. Especially on, like, the downward swings where he, like, smacks the ground. Because, like, sometimes you'll be behind the blade, and, you know, like, next to his feet, and it won't hit you. Then others, it will just smack you, and it's really annoying. And on top of that, whilst it's not too difficult to get out of the way of, when he does that big, like, wave ability where he, like, puts his sword in the air, then slams it down, and, like, a huge green arcane wave smacks you. Sometimes you can be very... easy enough to get close to him, but then sometimes, even when you're behind what should be the hitbox, it still hits. Well, it just depends. Everyone has those... Well, I almost fell off the edge then. Everyone has those bosses which they find easy or they have trouble with. Ludwig is one of the ones I just had the most trouble with. Like, I can beat Orphan of Kos now in a few tries, easy, but Ludwig takes me a while. The music is fantastic, though. It is absolutely awesome music on the... on that battle. Although, if you were to ask me what my favourite battle is in the entirety of the expansion, it would have to be Lady Maria. As annoying as she can be. Aurea weapon. Oh, Aurea weapon. Are you by chance talking about the whirligig saw? The big pizza cutter. I love that thing. Hold on. I've actually got a cursed gem in that. There we go. Whirligig saw. Yeah, the cursed gems I'd recommend if you really want to use a cursed gem is either the ones that increase stamina, the cursed gems that you want to use are probably the ones that maybe increase the stamina cost of the attacks slightly, or, and I'd only put these into guns because the effect doesn't actually affect guns, is if you've got a gem that reduces weapon durability, because guns can't lose durability. So... If you want a nice big damage boost, you get a cursed gem that can be put in a gun and just reduces weapon durability. It's a worthy trade-off. But anything else that, like, reduces damage to beast or damage to kin, not worth it in my opinion. Or I've got one which is like a ludicrously high damage increase, but my health gradually depletes every second, which, quite frankly, is not convenient. Right, let's restock and then let's go after Mikolash, the host of the nightmare. It is really good though as the whirligig saw. It is one of my favourite weapons. Its R2 slam attack when you charge it up is really good for not only does it stagger the enemy a little bit, but it also does huge damage. Yeah, I hate him as well. I've got a cheese strategy for him. The first half of him, not too difficult, just avoid the tentacle arm thing. It's the second phase where he's doing the call beyond and he's sending laser beams out. On New Game Plus, that is pretty much just a guaranteed one-shot if it hits you anywhere in the torso. Because, like, surprisingly, you actually have, like, certain amount of damage depending on the parts you get hit in. Like, I've been smacked in the arm by it and it sends me flying and takes off most of my hit points. But at the moment it, like, hit one of the bolts hits me dead center in, like, the chest or the head, I go down in one hit. And obviously, it's a very hard ability to dodge. So, I've got two cheese strategies. I'm not going to use the second one. I'm not going to use the first one, which I'm going to say, which is, if you've got the Beast Roar ability, which is... Beast Roar, where are you? This lovely item. If you use this lovely item in the second phase, you can basically knock him onto his feet and then just keep repeatedly smacking him. Then use the Beast Roar. By the time you've used it, you've regenerated a bit of stamina. Keep smacking him. Beast Roar, keep smacking him. Beast Roar, keep smacking him. And eventually he'll die. Whereas the strategy I use is just before he's about to... you drop down on him, which forces him to run into the second boss room. I just shoot him repeatedly with my bow blade. Because he'll disappear and then reappear running into the exact same spot, only to be shot again, disappear, and just rinse and repeat till he falls down dead. Cheap, but the boss is cheap, so I don't give him the chance to be a dickhead. What magic do you use for that bit? Because the only thing I can think of that would realistically hit him would be the Black Sky Orb. You know, the one where you kind of like throw like I'm not sure how to describe it, but you kind of like hold your hand near your face and then like a black bolt of energy flies out. Yeah, that's the one. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, it's pretty decent, that. I don't really use much of the things like Augur of Ebriatus and whatnot, but I've been killed by them enough times. Augur of Ebriatus, don't let it stagger you. That thing, if a person uses that thing right and staggers you with it, it's pretty much a guaranteed one-shot. And that's before they've even visceraled you.
Some say cosm. Do you hear our prayers? No, we should not abandon the dream. No one can catch us. No one can stop us now.
What I want to know is, how the hell does that guy walk around without getting extreme back pain? Because that thing looks heavy. Yeah, I like skill weapons as well. One of my favourite weapons is the Rikoyu, the one that you get from Lady Maria. Good skill build and that thing just becomes ridiculous in PvP. Just spin to win, baby, spin to win, and no one can combat you. Because they'll get sliced to pieces before they can even interrupt you. There we go. Hentai powers, activate! I would level your skill up a bit higher, even if you're going for a strength build, because there are some good strength weapons which use skill as well. The Beast Hunter's Safe is a good example of that. Mostly scales to strength, but has really good bonuses if you scale it with skill. Although his skill, some of my friends still just won't put that much points into his blood tinge. They keep saying that upgrading the damage done by your firearms isn't very handy, but it's just like, yeah, well, when you're capable of knocking the few last chunks of health off of a boss with a couple of pistol shots when you're on no vials, you tell me when high blood tinge is useless. Okay.
Oh, majestic! A hunter is a hunter, even in a dream. But alas, not too fast. Nightmares will choose an ending.
You should level it up. It's fantastic when properly leveled. Skill and blood tinge is a good build to have because the Chikage sword, which uses both, is a really powerful weapon when it's upgraded in both. Because it scales with both, and a high blood tinge, even on a melee weapon like that, will boost your damage exponentially. It's like Simon's Bowblade is a skill blood tinge weapon.
Some say cosmic. Prayers. Which I once did for the very first
I don't know, really. I guess just... Are you talking about first playthrough, you mean? Because if so, I would recommend being maybe about level 40 to level 45. That's roughly what you'd be about at that point in the game. I could be wrong, but it's been a while since I did a brand new playthrough. I don't actually find them too difficult, those three. It's just a matter of working out which ones you want to kill first. Like, I know some people like to take out the... I know some people... Oh, if that's the case, I'd say about level 40. But my strategy for it is... Oh, great, I'm dead. That was a one-shot. Lovely. Never happened to me before. But yeah, I'd take out the one with the mace and the fireballs first, then take out the one with the very aggressive swordsman, and then leave the one with the candle alive, because he's nowhere near as aggressive. He has the lowest health pool, and yeah, just keep doing that. I'd recommend though that you try kill him as quickly as possible once you do that, because he starts summoning in a lot of snakes, and they hurt. As I imagine you probably found out. I always make sure to level up. It's one of the things that's always like first thing on my mind once I know that I've hit the threshold of what I can level up. It's like, right, where's the next lantern? It's because you don't want to lose your echoes. Never fun. Well, let's hope we don't die before we get to the opportunity to get our echoes back. an exercise in kiting, this fella. Oh, forgive my dogs. Shut up, you two. Archie, shut up. Ah, yep, I have two of them, being rather annoying and shouting at each other. Everyone should love dogs. It's just like he's teasing me. He's literally just like stood there, just like, come on, dare ya. I don't know. I think they must be insane. I think they must be insane. Either that or just heartless and have no soul.
Majestic! Hunter is a hunter, even in a dream, but alas, not too fast. The nightmare swirls and churns unending.
I don't know. Always find it quite hurtful knowing that there's people out there being cruel to doggos. Especially considering the fact that they're quite innocent animals. They're quite friendly by nature. There we are. Always nice to see our blood echoes on the floor rather than in the gullet of some monster. Don't worry, he'll stop howling soon. I'll be killing him. Shut up about Rom, damn it. Oh, well. He didn't take your warning to heart, unfortunately. He is. Agreed. I'd say he's one of the weaker bosses is in terms of how well designed he is. Not that it's like bad, I don't think there's a bad boss in Bloodborne, because when you've got some absolutely fantastic bosses, the weaker ones do tend to stand out. It's like in the expansion, just before Marie, you've got one of the easiest, most boring boss fights ever in the form of the Living Failures. It's also a very depressing name as well, Living Failures. Yeah, it pisses me off a bit as well. It's not very fun when you got a guy constantly bitching and moaning in your ears. No, Witches of Hemwick is one of the worst in my opinion. So easy, that boss fight, and I mean really easy with the Witches of Hemwick. Go in there, the moment you go to the first boss, because obviously encountering a boss gives you insight, use the bold hunter's mark and leave. Spend that last bit of insight, walk back in with 0 insight, and they can't even summon in those weird dreadlock monsters. Because so long as you've got no insight, those things can't appear. This man likes his mirrors. I like that, actually. Have audience with yourself. Yep, go in with 0 insight and they can't summon in the weird dreadlock people. And it becomes a matter of just avoiding their extremely telegraphed attacks and shoot them. Not shoot them, well, just avoid their extremely telegraphed attacks and smack them. Heck, if you're lucky, you can sometimes find the second one before it's meant to really appear, before the health bar appears, so you can kill that one and then kill the first one when there gets no chance of resurrecting it. It's a stupidly easy boss fight. Just don't let them grab a hold of you and you're fine. There we go. It's all thanks to sniping. From Software should not have given us a melee weapon that can do more damage than a pistol at range. They really should not have put it in. As cool as Simon's Bowblade is, it's so easy to cheese bosses. It's the one thing they did right was they didn't let you put bone marrow ash on its arrows. That would just be stupid. There he is. I just find it funny the way he just kind of like staggers sideways every time I shoot him before disappearing. It's truly riveting, but it's just, I'd rather do this than face him in that room on his own. You should. Blood-tinged weapons are actually really fun to use. Like I say, Simon's Bowblade is one of the best blood-tinged weapons in the game. If I remember correctly, it's got an S ranking with... Yeah, it scales with skill, blood tinge, and arcane, but it's got an S ranking in skill on both skill and blood tinge, so if you got a high skill and blood tinge, this weapon will do a lot of damage, because the arrows will scale with both the skill and the blood tinge, due to the fact that it's all in the same weapon. And if you've got a decent little bit of arcane, that'll do a little extra damage. The only drawback of this weapon is that it, I think out of all the melee weapons, has the lowest durability of 140. But to be fair though, shooting arrows doesn't drain any weapon durability, which is a good thing. So with the weapon you're meant to like swap between using melee and range anyway, so I guess that's kind of why it has the lower durability, to kind of encourage that. Because there's nothing more satisfying than PvP than killing someone by transforming the sword into the bow and shooting them as you do it. There we go.
Now I'm waking up. I'll forget everything.
And if you do a blood tinge playthrough, I recommend using the Chicago with some very fun weapon. I mean, its second form will drain health when you're using it, but it is worth it for the damage. Yeah, it is satisfying not giving him a chance to fight back. I don't know why they did that, where they make him teleport back if he takes a hit. You'd think they just make him run straight through to the room if he takes a hit, but nope. It's only if you walk near him does he actually run. Any other time he just disappears. In fact, funnily enough, if you're standing there, it's not worth shooting him, or not shooting him, jumping down and hitting him, because then the fight will take place in here, which is even less room than you got in there. Oh, I've got enough blood echoes for a level up though, that's handy. Why, thank you, Mikolash, you have been most helpful. I think I'm actually at about 1.25 million required for a level up, but yeah, it is stupid how much I require. We'll go double check with the doll now, see how much I need.
Welcome home, good hunter. What is it you desire? Very well, then.
Okay, 1,239,838 blood echoes required. And nope, still not getting any endurance either. I'm only getting a slight increase in my poison resistances. We'll put it into... yeah, we'll put it into blood tinge. Gives me 400 damage on my pistol.
Farewell, good hunter. May you...
Yeah, also, if you want to do a blood tinge build, I recommend this pistol. The Evelyn is ludicrously overpowered. So much so that when the game first came out, they actually had to nerf this thing for how powerful it was, and it's still stupidly powerful. Put bone marrow ash on this and I can make every artist stagger in one shot. Just shoot her in the face with bone marrow ash on this pistol at my blood tinge and oh boy, visceral opportunity. Yep. Oh no, sorry, I was just going to get myself a drink of water. Always important to make sure that you're top pick on fluids. Oh, if you talk about the pistol, I got it from Castle Canehurst. It's in a chest. There's, you know, the first room filled with, if I remember correctly, there's a chest in there which has got the Vile Bloods register. If you go there, and there's a little set of wooden stairs which are just in front of a table. If you climb those and roll down, there'll be a chest behind those tables. Open that up, and you get the best pistol in the game. Like, let's compare it to my blunderbuss. Now the blunderbuss, actually no, let's compare it to we'll compare it to the blunderbuss because they're both at +10. Now the blunderbuss obviously fires multiple shots, so we can kind of forgive it for being lower damage. But mine's 45 damage plus 64 from having a gem on it. My Evelyn is 140 damage plus 260 for having a gem on it. So like I say, it's doing 400 damage now with my blood tinge. Oh yeah, you can get to it before the nightmare starts. Well, the blood moon rises, I should say. Just once you get into Lasefka's clinic and get the summons, you can go there once you get back to the. Right, now let's see if I get annoyed by trying to get to this secret area. Okay, this is a rather annoying jump. If we can pull it off though, we're on our way to getting another blood rock. There we go. Yeah, I've got sedatives on my quick menu. Oh, shut up, bell ringing woman. You better not bring someone into PvP against me or I won't be very happy. I know some people use this to farm blood gems of the curse variety. Fuck me! 100,000 blood echoes for killing a winter lantern? Never had that before. I need to farm here more often. Let's get rid of that. Need to free up my sedative space anyway. Bloodborne, teaching you that taking prescription medication is very good. Yep, I just got another 100k of them. Also, creepy little fact for you, you know these things, they wear the exact same clothing as the doll. Which makes you wonder. Tempering Damp Blood Gem, this is one of the best gems you find in the game. It's consistently better than some gems I've found, and it's just, if I want to boost a weapon which I can't get like amazing gems for, I can just put it on and I can guarantee that I get a big damage increase. Oh, hello. Spiders with faces. I find these creepier than the normal ones, so there's something about their face. I don't think they are the doll, but I think it's just kind of meant to be some sort of, I don't know. To be fair, the doll is meant to be like a soothing presence for the hunters, whereas these things are kind of like, I guess, meant to be like the dark, nightmarish version, because obviously this is a nightmare, whereas the hunter's dream is obviously a dream rather than a nightmare, so... Either that, or maybe their failed attempts to make the doll before German managed to successfully make one that was actually fully sentient. I always love doing this. You shall cause frenzy no more. But yeah, handy tip for fighting winter lanterns as well. Yeah, pretty much, like sad excuses for dolls. But handy tip for fighting winter lanterns. Frenzy resistance is not only based on obviously your armor and your runes and whatnot, but it's also based on how much insight you've got. The higher your insight, the less frenzy resistance you have. The lower you have, the more frenzy resistance. Hence why it's always good to try to keep yourself at about below, I'd say about below 40 or so insight. Lock onto it, damn it. just stopped the frenzy from getting to enough that it would have done some severe damage. Handy PvE tool this, the choir bell. Heals everyone around you, including yourself. I think it's about 4 quicksilver bullets per use, but if you've got a high amount of quicksilver bullets, or if you're okay using blood bullets to restock yourself temporarily, it can be quite handy. Oh yeah, I hate them as well, but they're very repostable. Surprisingly, just as they're about to grab hold of you with that big tentacle grab thing, shoot them and they become visceral. Also, funny enough, if you're in the middle of a visceral attack, the frenzy they cause, if it gets to full bit and bar and it obviously makes blood explode, won't do any damage. You can't take any damage when you're in the middle of a visceral opportunity. The things you find out. Oh, great one's wisdom. Oh, thank you. You are, yeah. So basically, when you got your hand in the guts, you're invincible to the frenzy. Like, the frenzy meter will build up, but the actual damage the blood explosion causes will not hurt you. Handy little tip if you're fighting repeated winter lanterns. I just have a low insight and more frenzy resistance to counter it, but also use plenty of sedatives. You don't use them too often, because obviously not many things cause frenzy outside of the winter lanterns and a couple of bosses, but good level for blood tinge. If you were going to level it up and you wanted to have a relatively balanced build without going too overboard, I'd recommend having about 30 to 35. That'll give you a decent amount of damage. That's just before the soft cap as well, so you'll be able to get a decent amount of damage out of it. But if you're like me and you're hardcore, then 61 blood tinge is what I've got. Just because. Because like when I first started this character, I didn't level up blood tinge and arcane very much, but then I started discovering a couple of good weapons that, you know, require both, and I was like, oh, okay, this is actually a really good skill to put points into. So when you're in the middle of that grab animation, you're invincible. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I hope you enjoyed. I'm glad you enjoyed, and hopefully you'll be around to watch more in the future. Where's my hand lantern? Do I have a hand lantern on this character? I could swear I had one. Huh. I have to buy one then. You know, funnily enough, this was actually something I managed to discover on my own when I first did this. When I first did this, I had no idea what this would work. I was like, oh, I got the best form of the moon rune. Why, thank you very much. And then I proceed to kill him. Because I'm cruel. Riveting stuff. There we go. It's only 2 extra insight, but... God, you got all that health. I just took off nearly 4,000 hit points. And he's still alive. They didn't even fight back. If I remember correctly, it's the only place you can get living stringers from this fella. Let's head back to the elevator. Do you know what? Sorry, we'll just use one of the bold hunter's marks. Right, what do I want to put this into? No, it's not an increase on that one. Let's see if there's an increase on this one. It'd probably be better than the gem in the crescent slot, though. Oh no, I've already got a tempering in the crescent slot. Yeah, can't get any extra damage from that then. What's that one doing? Hopefully it continues to recover +1. No. 372 damage. Yeah, we'll put that in that one. Put it inside the burial blade. It's one of my favourite weapons after all. I shouldn't need sedatives anymore, actually. Should have used multiple, not transforming my weapon back. Right. Now, I think I will leave the stream there, I think. Well, a good point. I've got the rest of the nightmare to get through, and I've also got a couple of things I'll need to sort before I carry on with said nightmare, so hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you to all those who tuned in and watched, and I will see you on the next one.